Hey everybody, Ken with Goldstrike, and today I'm going to show you how to mount the luggage rack with the LED light in it with Lightstrike features to our Goldwing. It's a pretty simple installation, so let's get right to it. First order of business, we want to take off this backrest, and we're going to separate the inner trunk from the outer trunk by removing this whole trunk door. So we're going to start with the backrest right now. So we've got 6 screws to take out on the bottom, and then we've got 1 on each side that have to be removed to separate the backrest from the trunk lid. So it's this one here, and then on the other side it's the same. And then down inside of here there's a screw on each side that needs to come off. So let's get to removing those. One note is on these side screws here, if you have the armrest, you'll need to remove your armrest too to get this part apart. So now we should be able to pull this right off. And then under here you have a plug, that's for your heated seat if you have it. Just unhook that and we'll set this aside. Since we are putting the rack that has the light on it, we need to wire it, so we need to get underneath the seat. So I'm pulling the seat off here, and we have a video for this if you need to know how to do this. It's just simple. There's 2 bolts and the plug down there. Pretty simple to do. So put a link in the comments below to show you how to do that. Okay, with the seat set aside, I'm going to lay a blanket down here because we're going to take these 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are going to come out, and we're going to flip it down on top of it, but I want to put something down here to make sure that it doesn't scratch anything. All right, that looks good. Let's get to taking these bolts out. So a good way of doing this is take the top 2 out first and leave the bottom one in on both sides unless you have someone to help you. So I'm going to do that. We'll take the top 2 out. Now with the top 2 out, this will flex a little bit but won't come off. So we're going to take this one out, and then that side's going to want to drop. So hold on to that there like that. Just get a hold of the lid from the inside and take this last one out. All right, now we are detached. I don't want to lay them down on top of the screws. We're going to flip this over, and I'll show you how to take these 2 pieces apart. So next we're going to take the fasteners out that connect the inner and the outer trunk lid. There's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's 2 here and 2 here. So we're going to take those all out. Now these are your locks that lock down the trunk lid. I want to show you a trick on these. When I pull them out, is note the angle. They're not straight in there, so note the angle that they're sticking. So as you got it, you want that angle to be facing back. You'll think you'll put them in this way, but they don't. They go in this way with the angle facing back. So just make sure. That's one little tip that you'd want to know putting it back together. Now there's also little rubber plugs. These will need to come out too. And they simply just pull right out. You won't be reusing these, so you can just set them aside. Now we should be able to separate the inner and outer trunk lid. Just like that. Next thing we need to do is take out these 2 little panels, and we're going to replace those with the trunk rack. So you can see they have little tabs there that fit in there. Just kind of pull them out. Set it aside. They won't be being reused, so just if you want to save them, otherwise you can discard them. So now you're going to need the inner trunk again. We're going to take this bracket on the inside. So this is the top part of the inner trunk. And you've got your little bolt here, and that's going to go through. And then a washer and a nylock on the other side. I'll flip it around here in a second so you can see it. Just get it started. Now it'll come through on this side like this. You don't want it, you want to just snug that down and make sure that hole lines up where you need it. You do the same thing on that other side, and then we're going to tape a washer just inside of there too. I'll show you that on the other side as well. Next, we're going to take these two bigger washers and we're going to place them down here and here, and take a little piece of tape and just tape them down so they don't fall off. Be careful not to cover the hole, because obviously you're going to need to have a bolt go through there. And that tape can stay on, it's just fine. With our brackets and our washers ready, we can flip this over and reattach it to the outer. We're going to start with the hinges. Again, make sure that these are angled towards the back of the trunk lid. Now I'm being careful not to strip out the plastic. But you might want to tighten them up if you want to go through again with a handheld screwdriver, just to make sure you get a good feel for it. Now we're going to put the other 7 screws in here. Now we're going to flip this up, and we're going to put the bottom screw in on each side to hold it. That'll hold it there, and then we put the top 2 in. Then you can go back and tighten them all up at once. Next is we flip the rack upside down. We're going to prepare the kind of the feet for it. There's left and right sides. You can see it's marked left and right, and it has the rubber that's also marked left and right. You simply take this side of it, which has the notch, and put that up like that. And we're going to slide this down over the posts. And this rubber will snugly go around each post, and that'll hold those together while we flip it over to mount it. So the next thing you want to do is prepare the screws for it, the mounting screws. So you're going to take this and run it through the washer, and then put the rubber washer on top of it. Then we're going to flip the rack on, and these are going to go in here, of course, but we'll show you that on the next part. Now you want to carefully flip this over and guide these 4 mounts into where the holes are. And just about like so. Next, I've already installed these 2 screws on this side, but let me show you a trick on this. This can move a little bit back and forth. You want to put these in loosely because you want them to all line up at the same level. So we're going to just put that in. There's some adjustment to it, so you don't want to get the first one tight because you'll never get the last one in. But once they're in and the threads have started, then you can tighten them all up. I'm doing these by hands just because you can really feel where this wants to end up. I'm going to get them all just kind of snug finger tight, and then go back and tighten them all once they're in place. And now the moment you've been waiting for, you got to see what it looks like. So with that done, boy, it looks good. So now we can run the wire and plug that in under the seat, but for that we're going to go back inside the trunk and I'll show you what we need to do. Okay, to run the wires, there's a panel on the other side. So you're going to take out the 2 screws that went here. I've pulled those out. We'll pull the panel off on the other side, and then you've got to remove the the two little speaker screws on the top here. Okay, to run the wire, we're going to feed it through. There's a big hole in the back. We're going to feed it through so it pops out right here, and then we're going to follow the factory harness all the way down for the heated seat. This will pop up right through there. So you want to come up right through that hole. Let's just pull that straight through. And then we're going to follow this wire down. Okay, we're going to have to open the trunk a little bit. And we're going to follow that. This harness comes all the way around and goes back down in behind this panel. So I'm going to pop that panel up and slide this wire behind there. So it comes all the way around. Just going to fish that back. Like so. Make sure there's no binding on this end. All right. So I'm just going to take some zip ties and we're going to tidy up this piece. This has a few other lighting products on there, so I'm going to take the old zip ties off of these and tidy it all up nice and tight, and we'll show you what that looks like in a sec. All right, that tidies that up. So it's nice and tightly run in there, and you won't have any problems with it. So now let's get this plugged in, and we can start putting things back together and test it out, make sure everything's working. All right, we're done with the blanket here, so let's get that out of our way. And we're done with this panel. With the wires run down this way, we're going to put that panel back in. Now remember, there's two screws in there, we'll get those back. Now you want to route this wire. Now we're going to plug this into the 48,000 wiring harness, our rear wiring harness, and if you don't have one of those in here yet, you're going to need one for this light. And here's a link to the video that shows more information about that and how to install it. But this one's already got it installed. It's just simply two plugs here and here, and then leads run up to underneath that we plug it into. So we're going to run this wire. I like to run it underneath this bar. Gets it out of the way of the seat. And kind of underneath this part here too. So you want to try to stay lower than this bar with this wire. And we're just going to run it in and plug it into one of the outlets on our 48,000. All right, now we're just going to turn on the bike and make sure everything's working properly. Ooh. Ah. So the run and the brake are working, so we're good to go with that. I'm going to turn the bike off, and now we're going to put the seat back in, starting with the heated seat plug. Put that on there. We'll set this down. And now I've got to open the trunk. You kind of got to tap this to get it popped into the exact position it's supposed to sit in. Just like to give it a little love. Now we'll open the trunk, reinstall the screws. I'm going to do these manually so we don't strip anything out. Now we're going to replace the two back down in here for that front panel that we took off earlier. Like I said, these strip easy. So you want to use, I like to use the manual screwdriver on this, and we'll go back and tighten the rest of these. We get the one screw there, and that is basically it for getting everything put back together. All that's left now is to put the seat back on. I'm just going to set it down there for now so we can see what we've done. And this light has the Lightstrike technology built into it, so if you need to know more about how to use that, it's a phone app controlled animation in this light. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. So you can go to goldstrike3d.com and go to the trunk rack light or the Lightstrike page, and you can see everything you need to know about that. I'm Ken with Goldstrike. Thanks for watching.